Yeah. Originally, I had recorded this as part of a live stream, but linking the live stream proved to be more annoying than I thought, and so I decided to redo the um, team setup information. I'll probably have a link to the live stream in the video details at some point. Anyway, though, so Melati has a setup here that is a hardcore fabrication specialist build. Like, she makes an area that you are pretty much guaranteed to be unable to die in, and has a whole bunch of stuff to help kill enemy things. I mean, in theory, it is possible for enemies to overcome these defenses. Technically, it does actually happen some of the time. It's just that it takes a heck of a lot of work for the enemies to do that. At any rate, so what team did I put together to work with this? Barrett. I recently decided to experiment with giving him the photon burst launcher. See, this is a guy who's kind of set up for a exotic damage with temporal abilities thing, which the pull to cluster enemies does actually work with the photon burst launcher. And giving him two heals that have relatively short cooldowns gives him something to do when he runs out of ammo for the gun. Of course, Bob. Yeah, this is yet another tactical melee tank build. I've done that several times. Now, the logic behind giving her a phase-shifted shield was I had one laying around. To be honest, I thought this was a really cool thing ever since it first got added to the game. It's like, because of the sheer number of things that actually give you psionic damage resistance. Spoiler alert, it's actually very, very small number. This, however, is a gear item that actually has psionic damage resistance. Again, it's not one of those things you need often, but when you do, there's not very many things that give you resistance to it. Yes, I'm talking about Davidians, because that's the story arc where you get this thing, is you fighting Davidians. Anyway, though, this is an armor that has a good balance between being tough in terms of having damage prevention and also giving you regeneration. Offensively, not that great. However, this is actually an effect that doesn't actually do so well with this, although I suppose it would benefit overpowering strike. Huh. Yeah, I guess that the secondary energy augment... Oh, wait, no, it's energy attack damage. Okay, well, I guess that particular aspect is being wasted. Whatever. Minor inconvenience. So, her skills. Drain shields to recharge, which, hey, why not? 12-second recharge on this is actually short enough cooldown that you might use it more than once. Okay, not more than once per mob group, but it's something that she can use several times in a fight, or if it's a long fight anyways. 45-second recharge. Yeah, that's not great. So it's like a damage spike when you enter combat, and then you have to wait a while, but Overwatch. As a tank, this is something that you really, really kind of need. And then, of course, you have lunge. Because, hey, you are here to punch the enemy in the face. Well, let's just get started with that. Has a short enough cooldown to be usable more than just once or twice. Also good. Alright, now we have Imra. Imra is a Caitian, and, I could get... This is actually a rather crappy shield, and he doesn't have a use for a specific shield, so I could just swap this out, honestly. Personal mobility shields are another one of those things that it's an old thing that's better than generic junk gear, but not amazing. They're practically free though if you do duty officer missions, so I have a bunch of them, and that means I will throw them in when a character just doesn't have anything better. Adaptation shield though is actually a pretty potent shield. The fact that his is Mark 12, not great. When I did the team thing, yeah, he went through it with the Mark 11 shield. This, of course, still has very, very mean things to do to Borg. So, his skill setup. 2 team buff skills, which, again, the way bridge officers are coded, he's just going to spam these whenever they're not on cooldown. And, of course, he summons a pair of turrets. Now, you might be able to replace this with a quantum mortar fabrication 3. Let's see if there is a quantum mortar fabrication 3, because that's not necessarily the case. There isn't. Okay, so never mind on that. There's, of course, a variety of other interesting options, but for this build, part of the reason why I'm focusing on turrets and mortars is my duty officer selection. Because, again, I have turrets and mortars here too. Shield generator, shield recharge. I don't have anything specifically benefiting those, but I do have them around. But yes, like 2 of 5, that's basically what I have. Is like she also has a fabrication-oriented setup. Okay, so what is it with the duty officers that makes that aspect of this so interesting? Well, because of the fact that my main character has a heavy emphasis on fabrication specialist stuff, I have duty officers to give me extra quantum mortars. I don't have one for the gun turrets. I have several things for ranged weapon damage, though. And, of course, the one for giving you nurses beaming down when you use hypos. Because that's a thing that at least sometimes happens. You can actually trigger that for the entire team using the Pavin Healing Crystal, so it has a 20% chance per team member to beam down a medic, and it gets applied individually to each team member. That's kind of fun. But yeah, that's it for this build. I have to say, it's like, this is something that I've done on a few occasions, but something that I'm going to look into explaining in more detail later, is because, like, duty officers being shared between your captain and your bridge officers has a big effect on the way your bridge officers' powers work out in combat. And when you're doing a full team build for your captain and bridge officers put together, keeping that in mind is quite useful. All right, see you guys next time.